So for years, I had a crooked squat. Couldn't even squat all the way down, mind you, but the squat was crooked, whether that be a box squat and I shifted my hips, or I was constantly going down in certain areas, and I just couldn't understand how to address it. In this video, I'm gonna break down reasons for why you may have it, and then 5 movements for you to start to work on to develop a balanced squat with even hips, controlling the way down entirely to the bottom position. And in these movements, you're gonna slowly be able to realize how to address it, because you're gonna see the weak points yourself. So to start out, split squat pulses. A big reason for crookedness or pelvic tilt is the tightness in the hip flexors between side to side. If you're constantly sitting all day long and you sort of shift between one side and you don't even notice it, this can add up over time to then having that hip flexor tightness. So how can we start to alleviate that? Simply the split squat hold, okay? Obviously you guys have seen it in my videos pretty often, but making sure that we're getting as deep as we can. So you can start at a very beginner height. You can go high to the bench and then work your way low. So for example, let's just say, I'm working with my dad. My dad probably works at this height. Okay, now these aren't just split squat holds. We're actually gonna pulse the hip flexor to really target and open it up. So what I'm gonna do is drop the leg and then extend and squeeze my glute on that back leg. And then continuously work here, getting reps. I like to call these split squat pulses. Split squat bottom pulses, mainly targeting the hip flexor, okay? What you wanna work is, you'll notice right away the tightness that you have and imbalance between sides. You wanna get at least 10 reps, really being active. And again, staying with that knee over toe. You wanna stay with that glute to the ankle and just get more and more active, driving the toes into the ground with the back leg. And again, this can scale from the height that I'm at now to that bottom position on the ground, still being able to activate and then come back down. Activate, and I'm really just elongating this entire side. That's a great first step in terms of seeing what issues you have in the front of the hip. For the inner groin, the adductor, the inner hamstring, I love the Cossack squat. It's been the simplest way for my clients to be able to get out of that crooked squat that they were previously dealing with and be able to finally address it at a very easy level, okay? This is what I love. I love this ATG mobility box because it's so scalable for someone. Could be your grandma on this, could be, an advanced level athlete who just got off of like labrum surgery or whatever it is. I use the slant board from ATG and the mobility box, okay? All I'm doing is getting as deep as I can. So I'm just in this split stance. What it should look like on the ground, the goal to get to is here, right? Opening that back leg. Whew. Hello. Opening that back leg. You want to get the most knee over toe on this leg, trying to keep that heel down, chest is up, and then we're shifting low between sides, then opening that other leg up and continuously shifting. The goal is to stay straight ahead, right? That's the standard to get to. Now, obviously a bit advanced for someone who's first come to my page and just started watching these videos. Wide as you can, get as deep as you possibly can on a step. This could be a staircase, this could be a bench. You can use assistance if you have to. Opening up that back leg, feeling that stretch in the inner groin hamstring area, and then pressing back up. These repetitions are great for being able to, one, tell which groin and inner hamstring is tighter than the other side, and just getting slow repetitions, working your way and progressing from less assistance to lower heights. Just like this. And making sure to get the same amount of reps on both sides. Just to show you from the backside angle. Just controlling the way down as deep as I can. Again, using assistance if I have to. Really feeling that inner stretch right here. and then pressing back up. Again, this scales from using that elevation like the split squat to getting on the ground, maybe using a slant for the leg that I'm sitting on. And we're just, even just holding this and loading it is just gonna slowly open up this area that could be causing you that sort of imbalance in the squat, right? Because if I'm shifted here, that means this side is tighter and this side's way looser, right? So good way to target the inner area. Next, moving forward, some guys, when they squat down, this knee is further out than the other one, and then this one caves in. What this is indicating is this glute is a little bit tighter, okay? So a great way to start addressing that is that pigeon push-up, okay? I'm sure you guys have seen me do this. I'm doing this in sequence though, so make sure you follow from the top down. That split squat hold, then that Cossack squat, then the pigeon, okay? So we're here. The number one goal of the pigeon is to open up this entire chain of the body right here. For anyone who's constantly externally rotating between sides or just sitting a lot and the glutes are just not active at all and you gotta wake them up, great movement to work on. Literally just getting into a 90-90, hands right here, falling forward, trying to get the chest right over the knee, getting as deep as you possibly can. You'll feel the stretch right in that glute right away, and then pressing the knee into the ground as you come up. It's a stretch strength aspect to it. So you're continuously working as deep as you can, reaching, and then pressing into the ground. Continuously working, pressing into the ground. Again, getting the same amount of repetitions on both sides. You'll start to notice which side you have more of an imbalance between sides. Hello. You'll start to notice which side you have more of that imbalance, that tightness, okay? All right, so this side, you can tell, is a little bit tighter, a little bit weaker as well. Again, start to work with less assistance. Boom. And we're starting to get actually reps. I like to call them pigeon push-ups because you're literally like pressing from the floor up, okay? Like to get at least 10 of those between sides. Again, how do we scale? Just less assistance and going all the way down and getting those reps there. That's that outer. So we worked the front, we worked the inner and the inner hamstring, then we worked the outer. Now we're gonna work the entire back chain, okay? Now again, every single one of these movements is completely done with your body weight. You may need a staircase, and that's about it, okay? I want to make this scalable for you guys to be able to address that crooked squat that you have at home, maybe on your phone in your bedroom, banging out some mobility. Let's start to address this so that you come into the gym and then your squats feel better and you're not having those hip and low back flare-ups. Next step is the elephant walk, okay? Simplest movement, easiest to work on. The standard to get to is hands to floor, bending both knees, extending one leg out. Bending both knees, extending one leg out. Constantly being active with these, okay? This is the standard. How do we start? Again, just using assistance, okay? So we're just here, bending forward, making sure our feet are shoulder width apart. We get here, make sure that not our weight is completely on this, but we're really just most of the weight in the base of our feet, bending both legs, extending one leg out, and then slowly just getting reps here. I'll bang out a few for you guys. Feels great. Again, how do you scale this? Get lower and lower to the point where you're not pushing through pain. You're starting to feel the low back open up, decompress. And then that palms to floor is the goal. Now, it took me probably 2 or 3 months to progress to this level right here, but just work where it feels good, and you'll literally start to notice relief, meaning like you'll stand up and be like, oh wow, my back feels a bit more loose. I can twist, I can turn, not as much restriction, okay? So, once you can progress, once you get that elephant walk to a good standard, you then want to progress to the Jefferson curl. Now, I think these go hand in hand in terms of what it's targeting. It's targeting that calf, that upper calf to around the middle of the hamstring. Jefferson curl, you can use a slant board, you can use nothing. I'll show both. All we're doing is starting to round the back here in this position. Let me grab the mic. Reaching down as much as I can. You see how I'm curling, tucking the chin, rounding as deep as I can, looking in between my legs, and then controlling the way back up. Same thing, all the way up to the top right here. Getting another one, right? I like to go real slow with this. Just feel the spine decompress. Slower and slower and slower. Staying active. Squeeze the quads, keep the legs straight. And then control that way back up, almost creating a strength movement. You'll start to feel a low back sort of pump a little bit as you get through it. 8 to 10 reps with those is great. You can add in a slant board as well. Just continuously working your way down here. I promise you, once you start with that and then move to that, it's going to feel great for the back. Because usually, with a lot of guys that squat, they're constantly getting here. Let's say they're not even using the slant board. They go down, and then the back starts to round, and then they get here, and then they try to press up. Or they just get to here, and then the back gets weak. And so what that's causing is pressure on the nerves, pressure on discs, and we don't want to cause that more and more. So the key thing is to open up the hamstrings. Why? So we can actually rotate the pelvis upward to be able to squat down with good control with a flat back. Okay? Last thing we got is the seated pancake. This one is very crucial. Anyone who has been dealing with some tightness in the glutes, they feel like they can't reach down at all. That's a big indicator of a crooked squat. It's a big indicator of the hips being uneven or imbalanced. Okay, so obviously you want to get in this wide position right here. You want to squeeze the quads, and if you can't even reach this way, or you maybe like here, okay, great. You want to start on something, sitting on something. Maybe a pillow would work, and you just want to work at the level that you can handle. Literally only just opening this area up right here. Getting wider with the feet, quads flexed, and I'm literally just pressing back up, and I'm just getting reps here. Again, you want to progress to deeper heights. What I like to get to is elbows to floor. So here, boom, and press back up. And you're going to start to actually feel that low back firing, because what am I doing? I'm opening up this, but I'm also opening up the glutes and the groin, right? You want to use the pillow or that board until it feels okay for you to be able to get onto the floor. And this is that progression, boom, and then pressing back up. I like to get 20 reps and making sure that one leg is not, legs uneven, no good. Open up, feel to where you're kind of even with how spread they are, and then get as deep as you can as you come up, okay? So those are the 5 in which you can start to address the crooked squat that you may have. These, again, are variations of some of the staple movements that I have within my strength training programs, but mobility throughout the week, if you work on this very often, even, let's say you're going to bed and watching this video right now, bang it out for 15 minutes, each movement, maybe 1 set through all of them, or 2 sets. You can rep these movements as much as you want, personally. And if you still feel tightness or issues in the hips when you're squatting down, let's say you're going to box squat height, or you're going all the way down and you really feel that sort of tweakiness, or it doesn't feel right, like you're just kind of shifting to one side and you know that you're doing it, it's a reason for tightness in this area, okay? And these 5 are what is really going to address every single one individually and tell you exactly where you have that imbalance, where you're tighter between, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope this video helps. I worked on these for, like I said earlier, 2 to 3 months consistently, and I was finally able to have a less painful squat with my low back. Didn't have as much compression on my spine. Built my own back brace eventually. It's about mobility first, and then once you gain that mobility, it's about building up significant strength with that. That means adding load with these movements, right? Adding load with the Jefferson curl, back extension, etc. Cossack squat with weight with a dumbbell, right? That's a good sort of standard to be at. Then you're actually gaining strength there, much more than your body weight can handle. So I hope this video helps. This can address your crooked squat if you stay consistent with it, okay? So make sure you're hitting these movements often. And yeah, please comment below if this video helped or any new ideas that you guys want to see from me. I have a bunch of videos coming out. I'm going to do 3 YouTube videos a week, so stay tuned for that. Stay active. I want to create a community on here, help as many athletes as I possibly can. Stay locked in.